Good afternoon. We have today with us Lisa Mcmillan, who represents Project Open Hand, and specifically she is in the Department of Nutrition. Is that correct, Lisa?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, welcome to French American TV.
Thank you.
And I'm happy that you're here because I keep meeting people who are facing the problem of HIV positive, even in my friends and people I work with, and it seems to be a more common problem than we thought in the past. So how long have you been doing this, helping people with the HIV positive problem?
The nutrition part of Project Open Hand was actually just recently started.
Okay.
It was as a result of a study that came about of our clients who we found were lacking a lot of nutrition information and who wanted sound nutrition information. They tended to be getting a lot of info from the health food stores or from magazines or from newspapers, but that information is usually geared toward a healthy individual, so they were very confused on what should I be doing, what should I be eating. Because most of the stuff out in the media is, you know, reduce your fat or lose weight or low calorie diet food, this, everything's diet. And it confuses them because they're not trying to lose weight. They have much different issues. So as a result of this study, Project Open Hand decided to hire two registered dietitians, me and another dietitian, to reach out to the clients and give them the information that they need.
Okay, and so how long has that been? 2 years?
We were hired actually the middle of September.
Of this year?
Of 1992,
okay.
right, of
so
1992, right, it's not even a year.
Okay.
And we have come in and started a whole nutrition, we've started a screening process at the beginning. When a client first comes in to sign up for services, we screen all of our clients and we rank them, or we prioritize them based on high risk to low risk, and we have certain questions that we ask them, and we base the risk assessment on their height and their weight, if they have been losing weight, if they're eating less, and if they're experiencing symptoms of vomiting or diarrhea. And depending on the answers to their questions, we prioritize
give them a diet to take.
Right, we will then follow up with them. I mean, we prioritize them to contact them, and then we do a full nutrition assessment with the client, and then we make intervention strategies that will work into their life, that work with our organization, or refer them out into the community so that they can
get the right food.
Right, get the right food, start building up their nutritional status.
Because if they don't have enough money, they can, their main concern is to get food and not the right food.
Right, and that is a big concern with a lot of the clients that I see because of being HIV positive or being anywhere from symptomatic HIV to full-blown AIDS. They're usually on disability, and
there's very limited income.
It's very limited income, and in San Francisco, it's expensive to live, so they're barely making ends meet. So Project Open Hand is
give them the supplements they need, or
well, we provide hot meals and groceries to people, and the only criteria they need is symptomatic HIV disease, and they can. It's one intake. It's very easy to get into our system. We try to make it easy on them to cut out the red tape because there's a lot of red tape that goes on.
Personal questions.
Well, they don't like personal questions, but there's a lot of agencies that service people with HIV disease in San Francisco, and they have to go through a lot of red tape for every organization. So we do one intake, they're in, there's no waiting list. Yeah, we make it very easy for them. And once they sign up, they're eligible for hot meals that come every night, and they're also eligible to shop at our food bank.
Okay. So basically, if they're on Social Security, they're already automatically eligible.
Actually, the income level of a person doesn't matter for our organization. They just need a diagnosis of symptomatic HIV.
That's all?
Right.
Okay, and then you trust that they need your help, right?
Right. Well, we just don't discriminate on that basis. It's more just like, we will help you, and we'll provide any service to them if they just want a combination of only the hot meal or only the food bank or only nutritional services. We'll let them use what they need. And
No questions asked.
Right, no questions asked. That's it.
Okay.
We're just there to help them. We don't ask them anything else.
That's a great organization.
Right.
If you think about all the red tape for other organizations, people get discouraged, they don't want to deal with it.
Right. And
So
we don't want them to get discouraged because nutrition is so important to them. We want them to have the food available and utilize our services so that they can keep themselves out of the hospital by not getting sick as much.
Okay, talking now, going back to the nutrition part, is there something very important that they should know? I mean, is there something they should avoid? Is there, what are your main advice, usually? If I'm a client, I come to see you and I tell you, what would you advise me? Not to eat raw food, not to eat spicy food, or not to eat, what is it you tell them not to eat and what you tell them they can eat?
Every client I see, I mean, I see clients from symptomatic HIV through full-blown AIDS with secondary infections. So I see a wide continuum of people, and everyone is an individual, and then whichever stage they're in has to be taken into account. So everyone's going to have a little bit different advice given to them, but I could probably say, in general, I'm always pushing for a lower fat but higher protein and a higher carbohydrate diet. And
unfortunately, food with protein also have fat.
Right, but there is low fat sources of protein too.
Like beans, you mean?
Like beans, and even like in terms of meats, using lean cuts of meats, or pulling skin off chicken to cut down on the fat in a protein source. But we're just finding in the research that's coming out that somehow the fat stores of people with HIV tend to be preserved while they're breaking down a lot of their protein stores. And the old thought of dietitians used to be, let's load them up with fat for them to gain weight because fat, it has a lot of calories. But fat causes a lot of problems. For one, it's hard to digest, and it can make being hard to digest, it's the last, it sits in your stomach a long time, and it can make someone very nauseous, and then they might even throw up their food, so then they're not benefiting from the calories in the food. Or a lot of clients that I see have problems with fat malabsorption, whether it's because of drugs they're taking or certain infections that they have, so they can't digest fat anyways. So the old thought of loading up on fat to gain weight should really be looked at closely by people, because we're finding that they're not benefiting from this fat. It's increasing symptoms like nausea and cramping and diarrhea, and it's not making them feel very good. So I tend to push more for the lower fat. But
okay. Considering the fact that they get like one bag of groceries a week, right? So it's impossible for you to give them fresh food as opposed to canned food. I mean, you have to give them food that can last the whole week, right? You cannot give them like a head of lettuce. I mean, it's perishable food, right?
Well, we do have some perishable food.
Oh, you do?
I mean, and we are very limited at the food bank in terms of refrigeration, so we need to...
you do give them fruits and vegetables?
We do give them fresh fruits, we do give them fresh vegetables, and we do have things even like tofu that has to be refrigerated, and cheese and eggs, even though we are limited on our space. But even so, a lot of our clients don't have refrigeration at home, so that's another issue that needs to be taken into account. Because, yeah, things don't last as long when you don't have refrigeration.
Maybe oranges would last longer, or you get a...
Usually fresh fruit works okay out of refrigeration. Fresh vegetables will be okay for a few days. Yeah, 3 days, and then they'll start to wilt.
So what do you give them mostly that would last them the whole week then? Since they come once a week, right?
Yeah, the clients can come once a week to the food bank, and actually they fill out, we have a menu system set up, and we have it broken down into different categories of foods, and within each category of foods we have choices of items that they can choose.
You fill that out for them?
No, the client, I design the menu in terms of what the choices are, but then the client chooses their own foods.
Do you design the menu according to the stage they are in, or do you design it to anybody?
No, we design it to anybody, because what we're finding is that within each category, we're able to do a variety of choices that, depending on where they're at in their disease, or even if they're allergic to a certain food, they can choose other foods within that category.
So, for example, if you're at the beginning of your stages and you look at your menu, and first they go see you, and then if they don't choose what you advise them, it's okay?
Well, yeah, but I'm not really a stickler, though, in saying, you know, you can only eat this, this, and this. I try to just more give them the advice of what foods have what they need in it, and then from their likes and dislikes, they can work with a lot of different foods. There's a lot of variety of foods that people can usually eat and tolerate.
No matter what their stage?
Right,
okay.
right.
Okay, so it's like a standard sheet, and it fits every stage. Is that it?
Right. We go. We do have other menus. We have our standard menu, and then we have other ones for special situations. And we do have a diabetic menu that's available. That if
Without
someone,
sugar.
it avoids concentrated sources of sugar. We have a low lactose menu available too, because a lot of clients, whether it's
to milk.
whether it's a drug-induced reaction or just because they're having a certain infection, they can't digest milk products very well. So we have this low lactose menu available, and then we also have a menu which we call no cook, because we find that a lot of our clients live in hotels or are too tired to cook or are homeless, and so we give them foods that they can use that don't require any cooking. They can eat them right out of the bag, as is, right.
Do you prepare, for example, sandwiches, peanut butter sandwiches for them, or that's up to them to do that? I mean, you give them the peanut butter and the bread, and they do it themselves or something?
Yeah.
Or? Okay.
The thing that we prepare for them is the hot meal that goes out each night.
Okay.
And then from the foods at the food bank, they'd have to prepare their own peanut butter sandwich.
So your job is to supervise also the preparation of the hot meals, or?
Well, like I said, we have 2 dietitians working for us, and I work mainly out of the food bank and supervise
and the other one works
issues, and the other one works out
of
the
hot meals.
Out of the hot meals.
Okay.
And we're always having continuous quality improvements on it, and we have our clients tell us what they think of the meals, and we also have people in the community, other professionals, our board of directors. Everyone's always monitoring the meals for quality and giving us suggestions on ways to improve the meals, the taste, the looks, the calorie, any issue they want to tell us, we're open to it.
Yeah, or maybe you give them a card and you tell them, do you have any suggestions?
We give them an evaluation sheet and they can fill it out and tell us
they get it free
how we're doing.
To complain.
Right, yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
Well, so this keeps you busy 8 hours a day?
This keeps us busy more than 8 hours a day.
Because you have to constantly interview new clients for the... Okay, so...
And there's been a tremendous response to having dietitians on staff from our clients.
Okay, so let's talk about your other services. Like you brought here a newsletter. Can you tell us who gets it and what you plan on, what kind of message you try to get across in the newsletter? So this is called Positive Nutrition.
Yeah, this is called Positive Nutrition, and this is our first version of it, our first volume, and our second volume is coming out in less than a month, and it comes out 3 times a year.
Are you the editor?
I'm a contributor to it.
Okay.
We do have writers on our staff that after I write something, we'll go through and write it so it makes sense.
Okay.
But it comes out 3 times a year, and we gear it for the client.
Okay.
And this is something that goes nationwide too. We send it out not only to clients, but we also send it out to other healthcare workers or anybody who's interested in nutrition and HIV, or if they have their own clients that they can pass it along to as well.
Is it in Spanish also? No.
It's not in Spanish yet, but that is something that we are working on doing.
Okay.
Right.
Do you have a lot of Spanish clientele? I mean people who are HIV positive in the Spanish
Yeah, actually
community?
we do. We have a whole realm of lots of different nationalities.
But the Mission District is very big in San Francisco. I mean, I would think a lot of Spanish-speaking people in that area.
Right. We do have some of our
Pamphlet?
nutrition.
Oh.
We have our pamphlets in Spanish, and we have some of our nutrition education materials in Spanish, and we have some staff members who also
Bilingual?
are bilingual, so that we can call on them when we do have a monolingual client come in to the food bank. So we are reaching out to them. And we also, in our hot meals, we do provide a Hispanic hot meal as well. We also do an Asian and African American, because we want to reach out to all communities and to all people, because when you're sick, you tend to go more for your comfort foods of home or what mom used to make when you were little, and so we try to get them the foods that they're familiar with so that they will
like
eat.
a beef tamale, whatever.
Right, yeah.
Something like that. But do you kind of report the latest nutritional discoveries concerning HIV positive, or you try to report the latest news, like you just mentioned this week, about smoking?
The
So
smoking and
this will be in your newsletter?
Well, we tend more to go for nutrition issues.
Okay.
And what we do with our positive nutrition is Jill and I, we will write some articles for the Positive Nutrition newsletter, but we also like to go get a professional from the community, whether it's a doctor or a nurse or a researcher, and have them write a lead article for us on what is happening out there right now, or what they're working with, what they're seeing in their research, so that we can spread some news that way. But only coming out 3 times a year, too, it's, you know, to get that day's information. It's good information of what's happening, but we can't give them, you know, that day what's
Patrick
happening.
mentioned that he received a food that's called, I forgot the name of it, but it's a very expensive kind of food that he gets every week from you.
Oh, a supplement, Ensure?
Right.
Right.
Is that considered the food, or what is it?
Well, we have, for people who can't meet all of their needs through food, we have some high-calorie, higher in protein liquid supplements, and they come in a can, and it's a concentrated source of calories and protein that someone can drink down.
It's like taking a vitamin supplement, or?
It sort of is. It doesn't have 100% of what somebody needs in one can, and they're also very expensive to buy.
They're made at your center, or?
They are not made. We purchase them. There's pharmaceutical companies that make these type of supplements.
But you know what they're made of?
Right, right. Basically, there's a whole range of different types of supplements, and some of them range just from like sucrose and corn oil all the way through very specialized type of fat substances and hydrolyzed proteins, so that they're very easy to digest.
Okay.
A lot of times when clients are having problems, whether they're having sores in their mouth or lesions and it makes eating difficult, they need to add a type of supplement to their diet to increase their calories and their protein so that they don't lose weight. A lot of times the convenience kind of products, like the ones in the can, are very expensive. So I tend to teach people how to make their own supplements if they have access to a blender. And this way you can be more creative and you can utilize ingredients that you tolerate.
What are the ingredients in that?
Well, it can range. Like some people like to make very sweet milkshakes out of like ice creams and bananas and peanut butter.
That's what it is? Okay.
Whereas some people will like to use more fruit juice and soy milk and fresh fruit and whip it up into a liquid to drink it.
Okay.
So that you can actually make it out of anything you want, and depending on what ingredients you put in it, the calories and protein will vary. But it's still very similar to what
it's liquid and it's easy to swallow?
Right,
okay.
Right. Easily tolerated.
Well, it would be cheaper maybe for Project Open Hand to prepare it themselves from the center itself, rather than buying it.
It would be hard to give it out though if we prepared it. Because we service about 850 to 900 clients a week just in the food bank.
Yeah.
And then for the hot meals, we service another 2,000 each night with hot meals.
So the population for the hot meals is higher?
Right, because it's
not everybody wants to come down to the office? Or?
Well, an issue too comes in of confidentiality, and our organization stresses confidentiality because when you have a hot meal delivered to your resident,
You don't have to show up.
Right. People feel like they might be taking a risk that their neighbor or their landlord or somebody might find out where the hot meal's coming from and they have HIV. So even though we stress confidentiality, some people don't want it.
So they just come to
the So they come to the food bank, or they can go pick up their hot meals as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. So the 800 is just people picking up cold groceries.
Right, right. And then we do another, actually the grocery bags and the meals are pretty similar because in numbers, because we have about 800 to 900 clients coming into the food bank, and then we also deliver another 800 grocery bags a week to people who cannot come to the food bank to pick up their groceries for one reason or another.
So that makes almost 2,000.
Yeah, so it's pretty comparable in numbers actually.
Yeah. So it's like almost 2,000 and 2,000. So.
Right, right.
So, and most of the funding is donations, is that correct?
Most 90% of it is. 10% is through some government grants that we get, and most of it is through monetary donations and food donations.
Oh, that sounds good. Okay, so now if I am like a person just viewing and I want to help out, I guess, do you at your office need volunteers or?
We always need volunteers.
Okay.
It actually takes about 200 volunteers a day
To do it
between the food bank and the hot meals to get the food to the clients. You can volunteer as a driver to deliver hot meals, a driver's helper, work in the kitchen doing food prep. You can come to the food bank and help fill orders after the client has ordered the food they want, to fill orders for them, assemble bags that are going to be delivered to people who can't come to the food bank, package up foods to give out.
And you train them, right?
We do train them, right.
Okay, I think it's every Wednesday at 6:30?
Every Wednesday at 6:30 at our kitchen location we do a volunteer orientation, and that's the first step in signing up to do a volunteer job.
Okay, so that's on Harrison Street, is that
That's
it?
on 17th and Bryant. It's at 2720 17th Street.
Okay.
Right.
And every Wednesday they can just stop by, they don't need
Right.
to sign up?
They don't need to sign up first, just drop on in.
That's great.
Right.
Okay. So anyway, just in case someone is watching and is HIV positive, do you have some nutrition advice to give them? I mean, of course, don't smoke. We already said that. But what is the main? What do you stress the most? I mean, eat good, eat a lot more than the average person. What do you stress?
Well, for someone who's just HIV positive who has no symptoms, is in a really good position to learn all they can about nutrition and do all they can now to take a more preventative approach to decreasing the amount of infections they get and keeping their body weight on and keeping fit.
So they should eat good.
Right, they should eat good, but eating good is sometimes it's like, what does that mean? You know,
Eat a lot?
It's eating enough to maintain your weight.
Okay.
And I always stress, like, the focus of someone's diet should be carbohydrate foods. It should be breads and cereals, grains, beans, rice, the fruits, vegetables. Carbohydrates should be the focus of our diet because that's what keeps energy, gives us energy and keeps us not feeling fatigue throughout the day. And then to add in protein foods as well, focusing on lower fat proteins, you know, again, leaner meats and beans.
So
and I always stress the low fat, high carbohydrate, high protein diet for anybody.
All right.
Yeah.
So basically, okay, and how many people? I mean, it's a constant turnaround. I mean, it's mostly men, right? I mean, do you have some women?
We do have some women, but I see mostly
90%?
men. I see mostly men, yeah.
Okay. Okay, well, I think you told us pretty much what you do here, the counseling, and I think we talked about everything. Oh, yeah, you want to mention maybe the special events? I don't know.
Oh, well, that was another issue of volunteering. We
Okay.
do have a lot of special events and fundraisers that we do because, like we said, there's 90% of our money is coming from donations. So we go out into the community and do a lot of fundraisers and get involved
Okay.
in street fairs. And we always need volunteers to help with those events.
Okay, before we close, do you cover the whole Bay Area or just San Francisco?
We cover all of San Francisco County and Alameda County in the East Bay.
All right, that's a pretty good area. And maybe you will open more branches later.
We're
more.
hoping to.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, it has been a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you.
So this was Lisa Mcmillan with a local agency here called Project Open Hand. It's a very good cause, and I encourage all of you to volunteer and to help them out. So thank you very much. It was very informative.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so now she's going to do the roll. So we're going to talk, but it won't be recorded.